You can still find me at Lincoln Financial Field on Saturday, May 18th for the Eagles Autism Challenge, presented by Lincoln Financial Group. This event raises millions of dollars to support autism research and care and gives you the chance to walk, run, or ride your bike beside your favorite Eagles players. Together, we can transform the lives of individuals affected by autism. Register today at eaglesautismchallenge.org, and I'll see you there.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra in a tribute to Philly sports fans at Wildwood Catholic Academy in North Wildwood and at the Ocean City Music Pier in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Alan Iverson, Cole Hamels, Joel Embiid.
My dad set this up. This was actually a gift to us to bring us all together, come see Joe and relive all the Philadelphia history. Come see it. It's amazing.
That's Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Wildwood Catholic on June 29th and the Boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey on July 13th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
I'm back. Yes, I'm back, just back, off the plane, little jet lagged, but fired up to be back with you from an awesome experience in Italy. Have to say thank you, Kathy Barnett, Mary Walter, amazing, filling in, allowing me, really, and my colleagues to go on with the show because there's always so much breaking, not just every day, but every hour, every minute. So to Nick, to Greg, to Anthony, to Jimmy here at WPHT Talk Radio 1210. But Ken Chase, conservativetours.com. Wow, what an experience. And it's really it's not a vacation. It's not laying on a beach, slathered in, suntan oil or lotion, drinking margarita. That's not what this is. It was an experience. I know we'll talk about it. And thank you for being here today. But I will give you some highlights, some lowlights. So we'll talk about Italy, southern Italy, the Amalfi Coast. And I could not have imagined it. And I'm not making this up. I could not have imagined it. I X'd out, I tweeted out and put out on social media just one view of one sunrise from the hotel balcony overseeing this incredible view of in the Isle of Capri, which was on my bucket list for years to actually go to the Isle of Capri. I got a little emotional. I did some videos, pictures, so we'll put all that out and get everybody together. We also came up with some show ideas and one my new friend Denise with The View. So we're going to have that. We have a lot in store for you. But it was an experience. It was amazing. But to those of you who went, and Ken Chase of conservativetours.com, he let us know that we broke a record. You broke the record here on the Dawn Show with the fastest, the most, the best. But I guess more people signed up for this one. They had to squeeze in more people and even adjust the tour. And there were so many people they had to turn away. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Thanks to my great husband, Larry Menti. Michael and David. Poor David is glad to be back in class after we just flew in. So Italy time, it's 6 hours ahead right now. So just think about that. So we'll talk. I noticed, and I'm back to reality. Back to reality. Here's the Philadelphia Inquirer headline. Central Bucks former superintendent may lead a new district. At what point did people think he's a good guy? This guy is a good fit. That's the headline. They're talking about Abe Lukabaugh from Bucks County. He left that district. Okay. But remember, he was the one, and they don't put this, of course, in the Philadelphia Inquirer. So I'm just going to point this out because nobody else in the media is going to point this out for you. I'll get to the Trump. There's breaking Trump news in New York any moment. So I'll get to that in one sec. But just Abe Lukabaugh, this superintendent, single-handedly, remember, there was an accused pervy pedophile guy in that district. The detectives didn't have enough. Lukabaugh then said, no, we want to look into this internally, and then turned over because he was diligent and persistent in protecting children, because you know what? That's really his focus, the children. And this good man made sure that the detectives had every possible, piece of tangible evidence. They went back, and because of him, they were able to tie tangible evidence to somebody who's no longer close to kids. You see what I'm saying? Nobody mentions that. No, this guy's a hero in Bucks County, Abe Lukabaugh. And you know what? Now there's another Berks County school district looking at him. You know why? He's smart. He's a high-quality individual, and he's somebody who cares about the kids and the quality of education, not partisan politics, not indoctrination of children with regard to partisan issues. He cares about kids, their safety, what they learn, and their future. That's what Abe Lukabaugh is about in Bucks County, and that's why Berks is looking at him. But they're just trying to, in my humble opinion, with these headlines, sabotage him. Get a lawyer, Mr. Lukabaugh. They better watch out, because to me, did they break a law? Did they? No, but it's right there on the edge, and they know what they're doing. They're smart. He may lead a new district, and it's just a warning. It's a veiled little warning to Berks County. Oh, really? You're gonna hire this guy because we're gonna go after you too. It's the weaponization of our media. That's what it's not just bias by omission that I talk about, or media bias or fake news. This is a weaponization that we're seeing. And it makes me sad. Now, did they technically, if I parse through the article, did they do something that they're saying something? No. Nope. It's the way it's placed. It's the headline. That's what I'm talking about. And this is where media is going. We've seen weaponization of, DOJ and other. This is the weaponization of media like this, going after somebody who's not a guy who ever wanted to be a public figure. He loves children. He believes in a high quality education. And if you really look at his actions and what he was about, he didn't want any flags in the classroom except the American flag. He didn't want distractions, in other words. And he realizes that that education and the high quality of education is the key to solving every societal issue. Lukabaugh knows that. That's what he's about, learning, education, and making sure that our children just remain innocent instead of putting sexualized material in the classroom. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that, in all honesty. But it's a shame that this is happening. It really is. And I'm disappointed that the Inquirer, they go after these people, and they've been successful with some of them. Okay, so I had to get that off my chest. There it is. Can we talk about Trump right now? Jury selection. So we now know, I don't know if Anthony has any sound from, because Trump obviously had that great rally in Pennsylvania over the weekend. More rallies. There's a rumor of another Cape May rally, and some of you were putting that out. Oh my gosh. Trump, Cape May, remember that great memory right before the pandemic, shutdowns and pandemic situations and all that. But remember that great rally. It was a great memory. Just savor in that memory. So will Trump be back in Cape May? I suspect he will be. But let's talk about this as jury selection is underway. And it's important to think about this as I know we talked about a lot of the headlines this morning, but the jury selection resumed 9:30 this morning. So 38 minutes ago, that jury selection resumed. The media loves to call it the hush money trial. Hush money trial. Now, that's not really a fair headline here, and this goes back to many years ago. I just want to point out something that's ironic. The irony here is that NBC News headline, Trump hush money trial resumes with jury selection. What are we really talking about here? NDAs. This is Stormy Daniels and people who signed some kind of an NDA. That's what this is. Now, this is they're claiming that he committed crimes. The very news anchors that read these headlines on places like NBC News, remember, NBC, you could blame, if you don't like Trump, you could blame NBC for, let's say embellishing his star, because he was their network primetime star with The Apprentice. Remember, that was NBC. And they didn't have a lot of content. I remember Larry, my husband, back in the day saying, my gosh, can't they think of any other original content? It was like there was a, hey, these are the behind the scenes of The Apprentice, and this is the special Thursday edition, the special Tuesday. They loved Donald J. Trump, and they just promoted him constantly on The Apprentice. You could argue NBC News, why doesn't anybody go after them? Sue them for being a threat to democracy, if that's what you want to do. But NBC News, the irony here is that the very news anchors reading these headlines, calling this the Trump hush money trial, they better look at their personal services contracts, because they all have them. I know, as a longtime television news anchor at the local level. I worked for CBS News, I worked for NBC News, I worked for Fox, right? And so I can tell you, whether it's the national level or the local level, when you leave one of these TV, conglomerates, you sign an NDA. You sign that. That's in your personal services contract. So they should really look at their own contracts, because they, in essence, signed the same type of agreement as Stormy Daniels had signed, or these other individuals. So that's what this is about. That's where the irony comes in. They should have to say, full disclosure, I, as an NBC News anchor, signed a similar contract, signed a similar deal with NBC or ABC. Pick your company, right? But they call it the hush money trial because they want to make the viewer biased against Trump. What was it? Ooh, hush money. What hush money? Lots of people sign these in business. And full disclosure, I should probably say, I don't even know if it's in my, the fine print of my current, probably is in my current contract with this company, with Odyssey. I probably have one. Most on-air talent, this is what I don't know if Anthony Gerenzo or Jimmy Kelly signed this. Jimmy, Anthony, do you have this in we should really look at our contract.
It's a good point.
It's the hush money clause.
Yeah, we might.
Hush.
Greg might have made us sign that, yeah.
Right? So we could have some fun with this. And as much as I tease a little bit, do you read the fine print? A lot of us don't, because we just, all right. And I had Kenny Lindner was my longtime same agent as, I think, Hoda. Matt Lauer had the agent. He's a biggity big agent. I'm sure that if I called Kenny and said, Kenny, did I have, of course, we all have it. Because a lot of corporations, a lot of companies, a lot of biggity bigs, they want to know that you're going to take whatever final, whatever's in your contract, that you don't go out and badmouth your company. And especially if you're an on-air talent, so they have us sign all this stuff. So that's the irony in all of it. But we're hearing from these jurors, they have to pick the 12 jurors and the alternates, and they're supposed to select them by the end of tomorrow. So I know you've been covering it. I also, so we'll go through that. We'll see. I'm getting a kick out of some of the jurors speaking out, and the interviews are coming out. But this is Judge Juan Merchan, and chiding the media for reporting on some of the details of jurors' appearances, places of work, and some of the details of the juror. Guess what? Fair game, Judge. It's all part of the game. And the media does this in every trial, whether it's local, national. I mean, this one is getting a lot of attention, and judges do that often. Judges don't like that. It's the judge's job. They want to protect the jury, right? But this is a big national spectacle. Yo, judge, if you don't want this, here's a pro tip. Let the American people decide. How about that? Let the American people decide in November 5th. Why charge the taxpayers in New York when all of this is going to get appealed and you're not going to get anything anyway? And you know that. So what's the goal here? The goal, whether it's a criminal trial or whether it's a whatever trial, whatever it is, we know what the goal is. The goal is to tie up the only competition for Joe Biden and the guy who's leading in the polls against Biden. This is partisan, and it's political persecution, and it's the kind of stuff that we see in third world countries. It's happening here, and the media is complicit. History will judge our media and our system. History will judge them harshly. I tell you this. I promise you this. Have I been wrong about this? No, I haven't. I've said this from day one. This will get appealed. It'll get delayed. But in the end, they win, because what they want to do is they want to make the public who's not paying attention, not you, but they want to make the public biased because they know there's such a slim margin here. And so if they can convince just a few people in places like Pennsylvania, oh, this guy, he's evil. He made Stormy, the pole dancer, he made her sign an NDA, this and the other thing. It's exhausting. It really is. Let the people decide. And by the way, there's nothing new here. There's nothing new, but this is all they've got. Because if they talk about, things like the issues, if they talk about the economy, tangible things without emotion and without lies or nuances, they lose. That's it. Bottom line. There it is. Boom. Future of the country. So we just have to spread the word. Thank you to the listeners who joined us. And I truly mean it. The experience would not have been the same without you on the Italy trip. And we talked about this, and so many of them said, Dawn, I really appreciate you that when people call in 855-839-1210 and you're so patient. And I said, you know why? Because I think especially as conservative women, and that's just it. Why are they attacking conservative women? They want to make us look like crazy chicks, hot-headed, nut job, crazy chicks. Because if anybody can look at me and go, oh, well, Dawn, I watched her for years on television news, and she's driving her minivan and she's driving her kids, and she's just a normal American woman. They don't want us to look like we are as just human beings. And they want to silence us. Isn't that awful? Isn't that what the women's movement was all about? Just allowing women to have diversity of thought, have a diverse voice. Isn't that what it's about? So if you want to call in 855-839-1210, I tell you, you always have a voice here. You have a place here because I believe in diversity of thought. And if I can convince somebody who's a Democrat who's going to vote for Joe Biden, but if I can say to you, yeah, this is who I am and I want to listen to you, I want to hear you, that's important. Because if we start screaming at each other and shouting at each other, then we make their case. And that's what we're not about. See? They want to silence us. They want to silence the truth because the truth wins. 855-839-1210. It's my honor to be here with you. We're going to take a quick break. We got a lot for you in store. Great guests, great audio, all of it right here on the Dawn. It's the Dawn Stensland Show, but We call it the Dawn Show. Be right back.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. If you're dealing with inflammation or stiff joints, then Glyco Plus from Rescue Natural Supplements can be your ticket to a healthier spring. Glyco Plus features a unique blend of green-lipped muscle complex and UC2 collagen, specifically designed to support joint health. Collagen, a vital component of joint cartilage, plays a crucial role in maintaining strength and flexibility. And right now, Rescue Glyco Plus is buy one, get one free for anyone with our exclusive radio code. Just use the code RELIEF to double up your order for free. Again, that's RELIEF. Call them today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable rescue product consultant. You can also use the code online when you visit res-q.com. res-q.com. Get back into action with less pain and more comfort. Again, use the code RELIEF. Buy one, get one free on Rescue Glyco Plus.
Hey, Philly. Jason Kelsey here. Even though I won't be playing on Sundays anymore, you can still find me at Lincoln Financial Field on Saturday, May 18th for the Eagles Autism Challenge, presented by Lincoln Financial Group. This event raises millions of dollars to support autism research and care and gives you the chance to walk, run, or ride your bike beside your favorite Eagles players. Together, we can transform the lives of individuals affected by autism. Register today at eaglesautismchallenge.org, and I'll see you there.
Get slimmer for the summer by losing a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40-plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or go to njdiet.com. Get ready for spring with njdiet.com.
Do you have a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more that you don't need? Well, don't lapse or surrender your policy. You might be sitting on a gold mine. That's right. You may be able to sell all or part of your life insurance policy to Coventry for cash, or a combination of cash and coverage with no future premiums, even a term policy. Call Coventry Direct at 800-411-8300 or visit coventrydirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. For over 25 years, we've helped thousands of people sell their policies. And we can probably help you, too. Call us today at 800-411-8300 or visit coventrydirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. Call now.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause, brought to you by Advocacy United, this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that'll affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Baseball is back, basketball is heating up, and the NFL Draft is right around the corner. Listen to the latest on the teams you love with the free Odyssey app. The biggest sports radio stations in the country, providing unrivaled local coverage of their teams, all in one place. Exclusive interviews with players, coaches, and team executives, streaming live and always available on demand. Stay in the know with your favorite teams with Odyssey, AUDACY. Download the free Odyssey app today.
Are you ready to take that big step towards owning your dream home? At American Heritage Credit Union, we've got your back every step of the way. Our team specializes in helping buyers navigate the exciting journey of home ownership. From finding the perfect place to securing the best mortgage rates, we've got you covered. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/home connection today and turn that dream into reality. Insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 433838.
If you're looking for that perfect piece of furniture, you have to check out Bucks County Estate Traders. They have the largest in-stock inventory in the region, and I mean largest, enough to fill a 58,000 square foot showroom. Quality, high-end furniture and accessories, modern, traditional, mid-century, all types of European styles, current pieces, as well as antiques. They'll arrange to ship anywhere, or you can pick up in-store. So visit them on Bethlehem Pike in Hatfield or at buckscountyestatetraders.com.
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Hi, Stephanie from Emmons. Are you not loving your bathroom? Is the King's Throne looking a little outdated and run down? Let Emmons Design Specialists design a bathroom that you will love and one that Emmons will redo in as little as 1 day. An affordable, maintenance-free bathroom with little to no inconvenience to you and your family. With finance options available, there's really only one problem. Your bathroom will be so nice, your king may never want to come out. Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit us on our website at callemmons.com.
If you put the words retirement savings crisis into Google, you'll get about 81 million references to explore. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, crazy markets, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. Don't trade the stress of work for a new kind of stress in retirement. Call Jim Cipriotti today, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415 to schedule your complimentary retirement second opinion. Or go online, retirereadyfg.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
Tired of your old kitchen or maybe that bathroom that's outdated? You need to give my friends at Kitchen Magic a call. They're offering no shortage of solutions for any single room in your home. With a new vanity and a tub shower conversion, you're going to love that new bathroom. Plus, an industry-leading warranty, a 10-year recipient of Lehigh Valley's top workplaces, and that says a lot about the fact that they take such pride in their work. Right now, Kitchen Magic is offering something that I personally think is pretty amazing, offering 12 months, no payments, no interest financing, and then 10% off your remodel on top of that. So get your free in-home consultation today. KitchenMagic.com. KitchenMagic.com. And don't forget to tell them Dawn sent you.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
With your support, we will go on to victory, the likes of which no one has ever seen, and we will evict crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country, from the White House on November 5th, 2024. And that date will go down as the most important day in American history. I believe that, because we're ready to be a failed nation. We're a failed nation right now. The great silent majority is rising like never before, and under our leadership, the forgotten man and woman will be forgotten no longer. It wasn't forgotten 4 years ago, I can tell you that. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God, and together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much, Pennsylvania. God bless you.
Yes, God bless. We are one. We are one big family, and I felt that on our Italy trip as we didn't talk partisan politics. We talked about the things that are important to us, right? As far as our family, our faith, our values, our, the economy, the companies, and what we've built. So I love, though, that Trump, that he snuck in a little something, if you noticed. It's not just MAGA, it's Masa, Mawa. I love this. 855-839-1210 as the guy who wants to beat him that day. That's a game-changing day coming up in November, and that's Joe Biden. Why do you think he's in Pennsylvania? It's Thursday. Joe Biden has been here 3 times, or he's coming for the 3rd time this week. so far, and that was Trump from over the weekend, talking specifically to Pennsylvanians, we are a key to making sure, to ensuring that our country is great again, that we grow our economy, that we make sure that our kids learn what they're supposed to learn in school, not get indoctrinated. I could go on, but 855-839-1210. Joe Biden, let's see, in about an hour, he'll be here coming to Philadelphia, touching down, Philadelphia International. Some of your calls, 855-839-1210. Christian in Jenkintown. Hey, Christian.
Good morning, ma'am. Welcome home. So,
Thank you.
kind of two points. One, to kind of reiterate what you were talking about with the margins being so low. It's time to start pointing and laughing at Democrats, frankly. Their candidate was just he did some sort of press conference where he said his uncle was shot down and eaten by cannibals. We have officially jumped the shark. This has to be a parody on life at this point in time. This is the guy they're running for president, and they know he's a loser because he's always been a loser. And the only way to kind of ensure that victory is to tie up the other guy. So I guess my second point would be is at what point in time do we start going after these elected officials that are going after this guy for election interference? These lawsuits needed to have been done in an expeditious manner so as not to interfere with the election. So that's kind of my point, is what kind of pressure can we put on our elected officials to then charge these people that are bringing these frivolous lawsuits?
Yeah. We have to stop being so nice. But see, we're the party
I totally agree.
We're the party of respect. We are law abiding, and I can tell. I know. Thank you for your service, Christian.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, I knew it when he says thank you, ma'am, because he's not Southern. Either you're Southern or you served in the military, one or perhaps both. But I thank you so much. All right, I have to ask some of you to call back because we have Nate, right, Anthony, coming up at 10:30. So I'm going to ask some of you who I know are holding because I want to talk to you, but I got to take a really quick break, okay? And around the corner, we've got more, so much more. Oh, it's going to be a good one. Be right back.
So many financial firms claim to be fiduciaries, but do any of them provide legally binding documentation to put your best interests first? Crash Proof Retirement is the only firm in the nation that records all financial meetings, making your meeting legally binding.
Lou Marinucci, Langhorne, Pennsylvania. When the market goes down and then Wall Street still makes money, they're looking out for themselves more than they're looking out for you as the client. It's not a fiduciary responsibility. I don't have that problem here with Crash Proof Retirement. Crash Proof Retirement can assure their customers that they will come out on the positive side because by recording their meetings, it makes them legally bound to do exactly what they say. And that's what a fiduciary is supposed to do.
Learn why recording financial meetings guarantees peace of mind. Register for one of the Crash Proof events on May 15th at the Washington Crossing Inn. Choose either the 11 a.m. or 5 p.m. event. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have absolutely incredible offers, and a plethora of both new and certified Volvos from which to choose. We are eager to offer amazingly competitive prices because we need the room for all of our construction vehicles. When leasing or purchasing a new or certified Cherry Hill Volvo, you become part of our team. Join Cherry Hill Volvo for the pricing and attention you deserve. I am Judith Krupnick, president of Cherry Hill Volvo.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. I've told you over the years about Dr. Bentz and all the infrastructure he has there, but one thing that he does that you don't see in too many dental offices, with Dr. Bentz, my dentist, whether it's a routine visit or a comprehensive, multifaceted process, he and his team sit down with you, they create a clear plan, explain it step by step. You will see the Bentz difference with that. Contact BentzDentalGroup.com or call 610-272-6949.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Are you still holding on to that winter weight? Time to shed that fat and get ready for the warmer weather of spring with NJ Diet. For over a decade, they've helped thousands of people lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. NJ Diet uses your hair and saliva along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements to get you to shed that fat quickly. Then, NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep the weight off. You are fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. And you even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in King of Prussia, Cherry Hill, and Newark, Delaware, or available from home with live online consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET, 855-5NJ-DIET, or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. Get slimmer before this summer with njdiet.com.
Are you a caregiver that lives in Delaware County? The Delaware County Link to Aging and Disability Resources presents the 2024 Caregiver Academy Series. Join us for a series of meaningful, activity-focused information sessions on respite care for your loved ones. Presentations take place on April 9th, April 23rd, May 7th, May 21st, June 4th, and June 18th at the Good Neighbor Senior Center in Sharon Hill, PA, from 4 p.m. till 5:30 p.m. Call 484-540-0372 to register today.
Free speech lives here, on the air, and on the Odyssey app. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
We want to highlight the latest poll as we talk about the fact that Pennsylvanians are a key to who wins the White House in November. I can't put it more simply than that. So let's bring in Nate Benefield, Senior VP, the Vice President, Commonwealth Foundation, who really is somebody who, has testified before and represents really Pennsylvania's free market think tank. As I talk about Nate, who is looking at this poll and can bring us the latest as far as the state of Pennsylvania, and as well, not just about the policies, but the way Pennsylvanians are reacting to some of these policies. So, Nate, with that, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, take me through your the Commonwealth's latest here, and looking at your Common Ground poll results as you look at what Pennsylvanians are supporting, what they support, where they think that we've gone right or wrong.
Yeah, we've trying to do this quarterly poll to measure kind of where Pennsylvanians are. It's also a political poll, even though we ask some of those questions on how they're going to vote, but it's not really aimed at trying to predict the election, but basically their attitudes on policy issues and the economy. And what has been consistently shown is, a lot of the voters, view Pennsylvania, view the overall economy negatively, view Pennsylvania's economy negatively, have looked to leave for other states, or know people who have, and really feel, cost of living has continued to be the top issue for voters in Pennsylvania, and saying it's a state issue, it's a national issue, and really feeling that, we asked about Bidenomics, that feeling that Bidenomics has increased their cost of living and made things worse for them. And then you see that, I think, reflected in the policies that they support and oppose.
And the numbers are clear here. For example, and I talk a lot about education, the Lifeline scholarships issue, which to me, I can't believe the media, well, I can, but this is such a no-brainer because they would have in there that you have to be basically you have to be poor. You cannot be you cannot be a wealthy person, and the media not all, but a lot of the so-called mainstream media just carries this lie that this is advantageous to the wealthy. No, it's not. But your poll makes it quite specific how people feel about it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we asked that because it was, we asked that about Governor Shapiro. Had supported this on the campaign trail. We described the Lifeline Scholarship Program of helping low-income students, as you mentioned, limited low-income that are in the lowest performing school districts. 77% of voters supported that. That's across party lines, across region. Overwhelmingly support for that. In contrast to that, we even talked to, we asked about tax credit scholarship programs that we have. Almost 80% wanted to support that. I asked about allowing students to cross district lines rather than having a school assigned by their zip code, and again, a large support for that. Then we frame the question, because this is, I think, where you talk about, how the media, often misrepresents things about how much people think our public schools spend per student. The average was around about 4,000. People thought we spent about 4,000 per student. We came back with the next question and said, well, now that we actually spend 22,000 per student in Pennsylvania, knowing that, do you think that's actually too high or too low? And it really flips the script that the voters recognize, hey, that's a lot of money. Maybe we don't necessarily need billions more for public schools once they actually know how much we spend. But that's not a well-known fact. They clearly dramatically underestimate how much we are spending on education and not getting good results.
Yeah, and I have to bring in the media because that's my background, Nate, that you don't hear that number. The media will report, they won't report the big picture as far as how much money, when you combine it all, as far as the local numbers, the state numbers, the federal numbers, all of that money going in, $22,000, and then to ask somebody, well, what if you had that money as a voucher so you could have school choice? I think if every American had it the way that you're plainly addressing it, I would imagine this would be a huge issue for most Americans. That they would say, "Oh yeah, I want $22,000 in vouchers that would have to go toward my kid and their education." But I think the average American, doesn't matter what you're, Democrat, Republican. To me, tell me if I'm wrong. I think the average grandparent would say, "Whoa, wait a minute. Yeah, we believe in school choice."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And I mentioned the support for the issues. We also asked, among parents, if money were no issue, no challenge, and obviously if you had this money following the child, where would you send your kids? More than half chose private school, either religious private school or non-religious private school. Only 19% would send their kids to the local district school if they didn't have to, which is pretty startling. Of like if you empower parents with that money to find the best education for their kids, they would choose something different than what's offered to them.
Yeah, and part of it is, and this is sometimes teachers, because I have family and friends who are teachers. I want to be clear that I love teachers. I think of the teachers who inspired me in my life. This is not about teachers. This is really about policy and classroom size. Also, those so-called AP classes. For example, kids in middle school and high school, in the private section especially, they can start earning college credits. Those kinds of things, because of the way the public system is set up. To me, if we want to talk about systemic issues, what I see is that the private schools are, for a multitude of reasons, they offer those kinds of classes where literally at the middle school level and high school, students can start earning toward college credits, so they get an advantage. They can also bump up their GPA.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much benefit to educational choice, and I think there's been actually a lot. You mentioned teachers, a lot on the benefit of having greater educational choice for teachers, giving them more flexibility in classrooms and different opportunities to go to different types of schools where they have the best chance to succeed, rather than a one-size-fits-all model, which is really, frankly, controlled by the teachers' unions, which often keep good teachers down, don't allow good teachers to be rewarded. That is, why we've advocated for it, and I think most parents and most voters want to see a broader choice of more educational options for kids in different types of schools, because not every kid, every kid has different needs. We recognize that, and a one-size-fits-all school doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. I just want to read some headlines and just get your take on this, because I know that we're getting the leading index for the U.S. economy, that it retreated again after that first increase in 2 years. So there were some encouraging signs for the economy, and now we see this morning, as we expected these numbers to come out. I'm looking across the board, whether it's the Wall Street Journal, they're polling some of the economists, but we have Market Watch, Reuters, Morningstar talking about this, and another headline that China's economy grew faster than expected in the March quarter. How does this kind of news, when we talk about the economy, on one hand, we keep hearing in the headlines President Joe Biden saying, oh no, the economy doing a great job with the economy, and his strategy clearly is trying to claim credit for a good economy, hoping apparently that people don't look at the facts. When you poll Pennsylvanians, what do you see? Are people buying it? Just if you could comment on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, people are definitely, voters are strongly dissatisfied with the state of the economy overall. Very negative ratings on the national economy and on the state's economy. Continue to say that their costs have gone up personally for their family over the last 2 years, and I think that Bidenomics has been bad for their own personal situation, and the numbers bear that out. And while Joe Biden can talk about job growth that he's had under his tenure, which is largely because he came in during the pandemic when inflation was very high. Most of it is simply the recovery from that.
Yes.
It's not necessarily great policy creating jobs, and also ignoring how many people have dropped out of the labor force entirely. That there's unemployment rate is low, but there's a lot of people who are not working at all and just has completely dropped out, discouraged workers. But really, what the biggest issue is that over the last 3 years, costs have gone up 18%. And while wages have gone up, people have gotten raises. It has not kept up with the cost of living, and that is, people are literally poorer than they were 3 years ago.
Yes. Well, Nate Benefield, as always, we continue the conversation. Thank you so much for sounding off on these issues and your latest poll. Thanks, Nate.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again.
Absolutely. So I want to start something new. I hope it becomes a regular segment as we start something new. So in Italy, made a lot of new friends. But, as we were riding on the tour bus, on the conservative tours bus, as we were seeing Italy and experiencing all these different places, some of them ancient places, some of them the most gorgeous places in the world, on a jet-style boat to the Isle of Capri, all of this. I made some incredible friends and a lot of great couples. But we thought, since there's one mom, local suburban mom, maybe I don't say her whole name, but Denise. And, we talked about the ladies of The View and how they really impose their thoughts on all of them, on America, as it were. But I want to bring in a different view. We call it The View with my new friend, Denise. Hey, Denise.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, God. I can't believe you're up so early, too. God bless you.
Yeah, I told you guys, because they said, when are you going back on? I said, I think Monday. I think because there was, we were back and forth on it. And, last night, Stalker's like, hey, I got the little group text from Stalker, as they said, we're excited for you to come back. I was like, all right, I'm fired up. But we talk a lot because you're a mom, you're local here, and you think about how women are portrayed in the media, like the women of The View. So I wanted to give The View with us. We got to get a group of conservative women to speak out about what really matters, what matters to us as women. And we're not a bunch of crazy chicks. We're not running around, being anything other than just classy ladies here on The View.
You're absolutely right. I lose sleep at night what the world's going to be if we do not win in November and take our country back. What life is our children and grandchildren going to have? It's upsetting. And people, we spoke amongst other women on our trip that we need. Your earlier caller said, what can we do? I think we need to go and sit in these politicians' office and just give our voice and our view to them and say, what are you doing?
Yeah, and
yeah.
No, I think that the truth is, and this is part of it, and you and I talked about this, that whether you're, whatever your job, people in corporate jobs, people with their private business, that especially conservatives have been silent because we just, I think, want to work and we don't want to deal with it. Maybe that's a piece of it. But it's all, I always say it's like a gay guy in the 50s. We're in the closet and we need to come out in numbers and say, hey, America, wake up. We're here and we are a force and we deserve this. We deserve to have equal, they talk about systemic discrimination. Do you feel that as a conservative woman, and I know you're in the workplace, but do you feel discriminated against?
Yeah, I feel silenced. I feel that sometimes I have to choose my words correctly. And, you say something that you grew up with. And I, grew up, my family, with values and morals. And I'm saying what I grew up, and it's nothing wrong. It's what was normal, considered normal. But now it's considered, oh, you can't say that. Oh, you can't say that, a color might be specific to a gender and all. I'm like, really?
Yeah, like
really?
Pink or blue or
Yeah, exactly. Like, we don't say that anymore. We don't associate a color with a gender. I'm like, all right, really? That's the real problem in the world? I mean, seriously? And makes you feel like, oh, my God, you got to watch what you say. And really, you're absolutely right. I felt so comfortable with the group that I could speak who I am.
Yeah.
And I feel that you're right, we need to come together because there are more of us than those few that are loud.
Yes. And that's
that
just
we need to come together. Yeah.
It's so true, Denise, because I think we're in a way, we are at the end of the day allowing this because you have this tiny percentage of people who are very vocal, who have the media attention, let's face it, and they can skew things. But I do think just by being who we are and being out there and saying, hey, I said this the other day. I said I was just at not in Italy, obviously, but just in the Philadelphia area, and I said, yeah, what's wrong with being a MAGA mom? Make America Great Again, which, by the way, Ronald Reagan coined that phrase. Trump was influenced by Reagan, obviously, and is repeating it. But I said, yeah, am I a MAGA minivan mom? Do I want to make America great again? Who doesn't? And then there were, you know what I'm saying? There are Democrats who would say, yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But they make it like, no, you're evil.
Exactly. We really need to come out and start getting vocal. They make you feel like they're gonna silence you and like you're gonna lose your job. Or if you say, it's like they have this. They put this sense of fear because they have, like you said, the media or these people out there trolling you. Or if you say something out in the public domain and you're like, oh my God, am I going to lose everything I own? Like if you have a business or are people going to boycott my business? I think there's more of us that we need to boycott those people.
Yeah, and that's really something I do want to talk about moving forward because a lot of times at our side, we don't want to boycott. We don't want, that's something that is not in our nature because we just want to let the free market decide. But that's really something that Democrats have been and partisan politicians have been successful in doing. Should we start saying, hey, you know what? Maybe we'll start searching for whatever it is to try to go and make sure we give business to people who've been canceled out, who've lost business.
Definitely. I think they're trying to ruin small businesses, too. They want everything, that they can control, big corporate thing that they can control.
So did you
they
have
can control us?
Yeah,
yep.
I agree with you. Earlier in Kale and Company, we did the story about the House bill, the Pennsylvania legislation that's moving through to make sure that they're banning certain substances that are not allowed in places like Italy, that are the red dyes, and now they know they allege that they're cancer causing, this and that. I have to ask you about that because we noticed none of us were gaining weight in Italy. We were eating, we were drinking. Did you gain weight? Did you step on the scale? Did you gain weight?
I think because we walked it off every
Yeah.
day. we had no time to. We ate, we walked, we did. I mean, we were busy every day. I mean, it was exciting, a little exhausting, but exciting at the same time. It was a trip of a lifetime, and I think another thing that I got out of Italy, how everyone we met from there has a sense of family, their sense of their culture, and a pride for their country. And they embrace and preserve monuments and things. They don't break them down. People go there to see this, and we need to learn from that. We need to start taking pride in our own country, not allowing people to take down history. You learn from history. How do you correct the future is learning from history.
Yes. It's so true, Denise. Well, listen, I love you. I hope that we can.
I love you too.
Have more conversations, but I had to have. I've been texting this morning. I said I am working this morning, so thank you, Denise. Until next time.
Thank you.
I miss you.
Miss you already. Bye. Bye, everybody.
She's great. These are, and this is just it. That we're Americans. We're and not that I want you to understand something. On my hand to God, we did not talk politics. Okay. I said maybe there were 3 things like over the almost 2 weeks that somebody talked about, that Biden. But overall, nobody talked about partisan politics. That's not what it was about. It was just protecting our American way of life and being proud of who we are. That's really the bottom line. So Denise is one of the many people that I want you to know, as we spent so much time together because we were walking, we were traveling, we were on bus, we were on the boat. So conservative tours, I can't wait. I hope that I'm honored to have the next one, whatever that may be. But to those of you who joined me, you were laughing a little bit when Denise and I came on with The View because we did a whole thing. But my God, what fun. Thank you so much. I'm just so honored. And again, Kathy Barnett, we were texting back and forth. She's like, Dawn, welcome home. Did Kathy Barnett knock it out of the park or what? With just star-studded list. I know Anthony was just thrilled. And I know Jimmy, everybody here at PHT was like, wow, Kathy Barnett. I'm so honored that someone of her caliber filled in. Anthony, what was that like for you? Can I just ask you really quick, Anthony Dorenzo, our executive, to work with Kathy?
Oh, it was great. Kathy, she had so much energy.
Yes.
She was really excited to fill in. And, her guest list, she has access to a lot of people. So hopefully we'll get more of them on. I've talked to a good amount of them. So we'll try to get more of those guests on regularly.
And how about the fact that she had McCormick on? And that was, we were listening because we were in Italy. We were like, we got to hear that, some of them with Lara Trump, but McCormick, they were 2 political opponents. It shows you the caliber of, and Kathy Barnett's a woman of integrity. The fact that she would have Dave McCormick on the show, right? First time that they went toe to toe. What was your take on that, Anthony?
They're very much respectful of one another.
Yes.
And I think Dave is definitely seasoned at this point, and I think that'll really help him throughout this and he needs to lend his hand out to people like Kathy, no matter, even if you disagree a little bit. I think that's the problem with the party. They need to start kind of getting people, rallying around each other.
Yep, well said, Anthony. And that's what it's about. I think we saw that with Kathy being extremely gracious because she's a gracious lady and a homeschooling mom. And I know you probably follow her already, Kathy for Truth. And then I can't speak enough about Mary Walter, who's fantastic. Like, we love, there's something about Mary. We love Mary. I know she's probably filling in on another show, doing her own show. These are busy, fabulous women, but I can't thank them enough. Tony Bruno, awesome. And obviously Sean Farish, rhymes with Parrish, but he's amazing and should be national. And he's another one that Greg Stocker will say, I discovered him. But we got to talk about Piazza. Spring is upon us. There's really no time like the president to get back out on the roads. My friends at the Piazza Premium Automobiles, they're going to help you find that luxury vehicle you've been eyeing. You've earned it. You deserve it. Go get it. Piazza has thousands of new as well as certified pre-owned vehicles available from brands like Mercedes-Benz, Land Rover, Jaguar, Maserati. And that reminds me of the Grecale, because, that's an Italian name, right? Grecale, the wind. And we talked a lot about that in Italy, but the Maserati, those are some beautiful vehicles. BMW, Porsche, and more. Just visit them at Piazza, Piazza, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com. You can always stop by one of their Pennsylvania, Delaware, or New Jersey dealers. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, it's Greg with Kale & Company. The NBA Play-In Tournament gives teams the chance to play their way into the postseason. So it only seems right that new customers on FanDuel can play their way into $150. All you have to do is place a $5 bet and you'll get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, to use during the NBA playoffs. You can bet on a wide range of things. How many three-pointers a player will score, the over-under on point totals, who will score the first basket, and so much more. Spreads, parlays, money lines, it's all right there on the FanDuel app. Just go to FanDuel.com/Greg, FanDuel.com/Greg to get started. Make every moment more with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino and is the official sports betting partner of the NBA. FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 1210 WPHT, so you know you're in good hands. 21 and over, present in PA. First online real money wager only, $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
1 in 5. That's how many people in our region are supported in some way by the Catholic Charities Appeal of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. With your gift, the Catholic Charities Appeal provides hope for women and children through pregnancy programs and family support centers. The fact is, nearly 1 million times per year, our programs provide assistance to people in need. But we can't do this vital work without you. Your gift matters. Go to CatholicCharitiesAppeal.org to donate today.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Do you want clean, healthy water for your home? Martin Water Conditioning's non-electric systems provide whole house solutions for softening, filtering, and sterilizing your water. And with the customer appreciation sale, receive up to $500 off when purchasing a Connecticut water system, 18 and 48-month special financing, or 10% off the spot-free car rinse system and more. Call Martin Water, 1-800-853-1093 before April 22nd. Offers cannot be combined or applied to prior sales.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
We are watching the very latest, obviously, in New York. There's a lot of developing news with dozens of potential jurors admitting they cannot be fair. That's one of the headlines. And these jurors are being chosen against a deadline of they should have this jury chosen for the first Trump, quote-unquote, criminal trial. This involves the signing of those NDAs. And what is Trump really accused of? We'll get into that moving forward as well. But that's going on with that jury selection underway. It started at 9:30 this morning. And there are a lot of headlines this morning as well moving forward. We'll talk about the committee on the House Administration's Oversight Panel met to hear the testimony from whistleblowers on why it took so long for the National Guard to respond to the Capitol January 6, 2021. Obviously, we're just learning about this 3 years later. We're just finally getting to this in the House of Representatives. But there's some quite interesting information that emerged from that testimony yesterday that I want to get to as well. And that's something that's not necessarily in the headlines. So we have a lot in law enforcement in the headlines today. We want to get to our friend, retired Sergeant Betsy Brantner-Smith, National Police Association. So much happening. Hey, Betsy, I am back from an amazing 2 weeks in Italy.
I know you are so lucky to get away with that. I bet the food and the scenery was amazing.
It was, and the camaraderie. Thanks again to conservativetours.com. It was. I'm not going to say it's a vacation because it's pretty much 3 excursions a day. In other words, you're traveling by boat, traveling by bus, and a woman with a PhD taking us through. So it's history. A lot of World War II history, taking us through. I feel like I earned at least two college credits. But
that's awesome.
But I love, and Anthony Dorenzo, our executive producer, making sure that you're back here today and we can continue the conversation as we do. Let's start with these anti-Israel activists heard chanting "Death to America, Death to Israel" at that rally in Michigan City recently. What's your impression of some of these rallies? And we can talk about the chant itself, "Death to Israel," but even I'll take you back to the summer of post George Floyd. here in Philadelphia.
The summer of love, Don.
Oh my gosh,
that was the summer of love.
He has no home here, right? But take me through as far as from your perspective, National Police Association, Betsy, and what do you make of all this and how it's being covered and law enforcement?
Well, what we saw, a couple of weeks ago in Dearborn, Michigan, was basically another anti-Semitic, anti-Israel, really pro-jihadi rally. And if you don't know, Dearborn, Michigan has the largest Muslim population in the United States, and not everyone who lives there is a terrorist. But they have a radical part of the population, and they were basically celebrating being anti-Israel, celebrating Hamas, celebrating Hezbollah, and the guy that was on video talking about, I don't even want to say his name, talking about and leading that "Death to America" chant. And basically told everyone in that audience, pour all of your chants and all of your shots upon the head of America. Now, I would call that very concerning. And he went on to say that Israel is ISIS. They are Nazis. They're the fascists and the racists. This is classic projection. And then we went on to see the Golden Gate Bridge, O'Hare Airport, places in Oakland and all around the country shut down by these anti-Semitic, pro-Hezbollah, pro-Hamas protesters. And what we're seeing, Don, I was talking to a bunch of police professionals last night about this, is these are the same people who we saw with Occupy Wall Street, and then Black Lives Matter, and Antifa, and now it's anti-Israel. It's all the same players, and I think this is going to be our summer of love.
Right. We also had, in fact, we had yesterday the Committee on the House Administration's Oversight Panel. They met to hear testimony from these whistleblowers because we were told, oh boy, it took so long for the National Guard to respond to the Capitol January 6, 2021. And we're hearing now a different narrative than we've heard before. And so to me, as I look at this, first and foremost, it's always unfortunate to me when anybody in law enforcement, Betsy, is used as a pawn. No matter what somebody's partisan politics, that's what I see here, that individuals in law who really want to serve, whether they're on the federal level, a local level, in this case, the National Guard, and so they're put in these positions where now they have to be a whistleblower to give some truth or some perspective. And that's something we're seeing more and more with law enforcement. And I think that leads people to say, you know what? I really don't want to go into law enforcement because I don't even want to be caught in that fray.
Well, you're so right, because we saw how law enforcement in the Capitol riots on January 6th was so terribly publicized. You had this tiny cadre of law enforcement officers who were Nancy Pelosi sycophants. We saw them crying all over CNN and MSNBC, and now we have and there were police officers legitimately hurt on January 6th, but now we've had testimony saying that, we asked for assistance from the National Guard. We asked for it multiple times. It did not come. There really was no plan. And we also have had, and this has gotten largely lost, we've had police officers testify and also come forward as whistleblowers saying, yeah, we were bussed over there, and we had all our riot gear, we had our helmets, everything, and they made us leave it on the bus. So it's as though our law enforcement officers were set up to be harmed, and yet they called for assistance many times. You've got the chief of the Capitol Police, Sutherland, who has been run out of town on a rail, and he's trying to get traction in talking about what really happened that day. And the bottom line is this: two things. One, police should not be politicized in the way that they were with January 6th, including, the natural causes death of a police officer. We had 2 police officers commit suicide post the Capitol riots, and it's been blamed on the Capitol riots, even though we really don't know that. You have people and politicians talking about how police officers were murdered that day. They were not. But number 2, we're continuing to find out that this was one about 4-hour riot that the media and our politicians seem to be able to not stop talking about, and yet we have had so much fallout from the riots of 2020 and the riots of 2021 around the country, and yet police officers are told, don't talk about that, oh, it wasn't that bad, this and that, when we legitimately had police officers killed and badly injured during the George Floyd riots. So it's like, you're so right. It's hard to recruit police officers when they see for their own eyes in the media and with their political leadership that, what riots you get injured in matters, and where you get injured matters more than your actual service. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, I know that Representative Barry Loudermilk had just within the hour, he had put out on a statement that 4 courageous D.C. National Guard officials were ignored by the former J6 Select Committee and Department of Defense, when they tried coming forward regarding what happened with the National Guard mobilization. But then they had the hearing. They said they want to get to the truth. And that's a piece of it, that it was a narrative that appears to be, well, at the very least, let's just say it was a biased narrative. I'm being kind. But at the very, also, they were basically making the National Guard look sluggish or incompetent. That's just not true.
Well, and that's exactly it. This is why it's so shameless. The whole J6 committee, this kangaroo court that we all saw that the that primetime media publicized and this and that. It's silly, it's ridiculous, and you have shameless politicians and media personalities still trying to say that January 6th was as bad as Pearl Harbor, was as bad as 9/11/01, because they want to keep this political narrative going. I believe that most people are finally understanding that this constant narrative that this was the worst day in America is absolute silliness. But again, these law enforcement officers who had to deal with it then on January 6th and then deal with the aftermath of it, and they see how the J6 prisoners are treated as opposed to, people that took over the Senate last week, the Senate cafeteria, because they were, pro-Hezbollah, pro-Hamas, that they're being treated differently. No one, especially law enforcement officers, nobody wants to look at our justice system that you as a police officer are an intricate part of and see that there's all this extraordinary bias. And that wears at your soul. If you don't feel, cops become cops because they believe in fairness and they believe in justice. And when you see that the system that you're a part of isn't fair and often isn't just, it wears at your soul and you get tired of it and you leave.
Well said. And that's why we have record retirements, one of them here in Philadelphia and across the country. I wanted to get your take as well on this, that the FBI director, Chris Wray, is set reportedly, this one I'm looking at ABC News, but they're, all the news outlets are reporting this. Chris Wray is set to warn Congress today of his concerns. And this is another warning. He's said this before, but this is about these potential bad actors carrying out attacks on U.S. soil. Something tells me that these might be newcomers.
Yeah, Christopher Wray needs to stop testifying and saying, how bad things are, and he needs to turn around, march into the White House, and inform the current administration about all these things that he's talking about. We're glad that he recognizes that we are about to have multiple terror attacks, black swan events, whatever you want to say about it. But this constant harping on Capitol Hill by Christopher Wray kind of looks like I'm trying to cover my rear end as opposed to really warn the American people. What needs to happen is we need to take back operational control of the southern border. Christopher Wray needs to shout that loudly from every bully pulpit that he can get in front of, and just stop testifying and saying, oh, it's going to be bad, it's going to be bad. We know it's going to be bad.
Yes.
Law enforcement knows it's going to be bad. And yet here I sit in Tucson, Arizona, where a couple of days ago I was at the airport, and I'm watching all these people that are getting on the same airplane I'm getting on, who we have no idea who they are. They have no identification, any of that, and they're flying to the city of their choice. And we see video after video of men, military-age men from North Africa, from the Middle East, from China, that are pouring into this country unabated and unidentified. That's what he needs to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, last night when we flew Rome to Philadelphia, and there were long lines, and that's, we were all kind of looking around because they said, wait a minute, U.S. passport holders, as well as I think it was green card holders, you come in this line together. So they did not separate. If you are a U.S. citizen with a passport, you were with the green card group, but then they had others with different types of visas and different type of ID. They separated all of those groups, and these were masses of individuals who were coming through, obviously, the part of the airport where these are international flights. We were all, from our tour group, there were about 80 of us, we were taken aback by that. That was, I've never seen that.
My husband calls it security theater. and that's what you feel like. You feel like you're just in a weird little play where we have to pretend that our borders are secure. We have to pretend that we're a sovereign nation. We have to pretend that the government's in control. When, as you just witnessed, and I'm going to guess on your trip, Dawn, you didn't get to set foot anywhere on foreign soil where you didn't have to show that passport and identify yourself and things like that, and that's what's so frustrating. As Americans see this, and I see this when I'm at the airport, I see people look over and go, oh, that's so weird that those folks are in a different line and they're getting dropped off by these big buses, and the airport police are trying to herd these people into this line, and they don't have to show anything other than a manila envelope they got from the government.
Yeah, to your point, I would say everywhere we went, if it was a new hotel, you show your passport to the hotel. And so that's required by the Italian government. Well, there's a whole other issue that I'll have to get into, and that is that the government controls the air conditioning. That became a big issue. It was kind of funny.
We can never let that happen here in the United States. Certainly not here in southern Arizona in July.
Yeah, Trump could, if the Democrats went after that, Trump would, believe me, we'll have air conditioning for everyone. But
he'd win in a landslide.
So we Americans, we want our AC. But at the Vatican, not only in the Vatican, there were several checkpoints where we had to show our passport again and again. And that one really fascinated me because, sometimes the Pope gets a little political, but when it comes to the Vatican and Vatican City, man, you had your passport out. You had to show all of the ID to get through certain checkpoints. I thought that was fascinating too.
Well, and we've heard the Pope talk about how we are supposed to, he talks about refugees and this and that, he's a very open borders kind of Pope, except when it comes to the Vatican.
Yes, that's rules for thee and not for me, I guess. But, well, as always, I mean, I love your husband's line. We might have to coin that or steal that one, as you called it. what did you call it? Security theater.
Security theater.
Love
Yep,
it.
steal away.
Betsy Brantner-Smith, our friend, thank you so much. National, and tell us where to find you, because a lot of people love you. They want to know how they can be part of what you're about with the National Police Association, which emboldens our local police, state law enforcement, and on a national level too, obviously.
Go to nationalpolice.org, nationalpolice.org. You can see all the great things that we're involved in. Hit that donate button and help us out. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Sergeant Betsy Smith, SGT Betsy Smith.
Thank you so much. Until next time.
Talk to you soon. Glad you're back home.
Oh, thank you so much. Absolutely. We'll talk more about the air conditioning. And my dad would love something they do actually in Italy with regard to power, electricity, air conditioning. So we'll talk about that. Get your thoughts. 855-839-1210. Quick break. Be right back.
The good and bad with home improvement projects. The good, you save a buck or two. The bad.
Kevin, there's no hot water.
So you move on to the car.
Kevin, what's with the car?
Good news, you can recover from these.
Kevin!
Well, most all of them. But when it comes to your retirement, a mistake can be devastating. Call Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group. He's been helping folks prepare for retirement for over 30 years. That's why he's able to correct your do-it-yourself problems before they're problems. Get your complimentary assessment of where you are now and look at some of the retirement boxes you haven't even thought of.
Kevin!
You can't YouTube your retirement. Call Joe Yakovich at 856-925-6674 or visit jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
Vacation? My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around, and I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
It will remain dreary through the day today with plenty of cloud cover, a little bit of drizzle or mist possible, high 58. Clouds continue tonight. It will be chilly with a low 45 and a bit milder on Friday. Mostly cloudy skies continue with a high 62.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. The NBA play-in tournament gives teams a chance to play their way into the postseason. So it only seems right that new customers on FanDuel can play their way into $150. Just place any $5 bet. You get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, to use during the NBA playoffs. You can bet the number of three-pointers made at any game, over and under, even first basket scorer. Go to FanDuel.com/Dom, FanDuel.com/DOM. Make every moment more with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus. Present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. It expires 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to now.
Traveling? Volunteering? Spending time with family? What's your retirement look like? With income planning from Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor can help you grow and protect your wealth. They'll look at your full financial picture and help you create a flexible strategy that considers things like market conditions and healthcare expenses, so you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Visit fidelity.com/income planning. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE SIPC.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra in a tribute to Philly sports fans at Wildwood Catholic Academy in North Wildwood and at the Ocean City Music Pier in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Alan Iverson, Cole Hamels, Joel Embiid.
My dad set this up. This was actually a gift to us to bring us all together, come see Joe and relive all the Philadelphia history. Come see it. It's amazing.
That's Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Wildwood Catholic on June 29th and the Boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey on July 13th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Are you still holding on to that winter weight? Time to shed that fat and get ready for the warmer weather of spring with NJ Diet. For over a decade, they've helped thousands of people lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. NJ Diet uses your hair and saliva along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements to get you to shed that fat quickly. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep the weight off. You are fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. And you even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in King of Prussia, Cherry Hill, and Newark, Delaware, or available from home with live online consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET, 855-5NJ-DIET, or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. Get slimmer before this summer with njdiet.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Do you have shoeboxes full of photos? Today only, radio listeners get VIP access to the new Photo Legacy Box. Get your family's photos professionally scanned for as low as 7 cents, which is 76% less than what other brands charge. As the world's largest digitizer, you know you can trust Legacy Box to digitize your entire collection of 4x6 photos. Everything from the embarrassing haircut you had in the 90s to photos of your great-grandma's wedding. Visit legacybox.com/value to get 200 photos scanned starting at just $19.95. Oh, and don't forget, LegacyBox also digitizes over 15 other types of analog media, so you can get your favorite memories on VHS or Grandpa's film reels from the 40s digitized too. Take advantage of this exclusive offer on the new Photo Legacy Box today and preserve your past for as low as 7 cents. Go to legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com/value.
I'm so happy to talk about my good friends at AMC, Anderson Mechanical Corporation, because, it is so important that you trust and feel comfortable with the people coming into your home for things like maintenance and repairs, and you do get that with Carrie, Bill, and their entire AMC team. They have such a wealth of experience, a dedication. They're true professionals at AMC, and they take such great pride in their work. You always want to ask, and this is something that Carrie and Bill, we talked about. They said, you always ask somebody who's coming in, whether it's somebody who's doing plumbing with a company, whether they're doing HVAC repair or maintenance, do you make commission? Because I never really thought of that in the past, because you think somebody who's coming there as a tech, they're coming to fix things. But did you know that many of them with these companies, they're actually a commissioned salesperson? So you need to know that up front. For me, that's something that is eye-opening. But in any event, my point is they don't get commission. So I like that. I want somebody whose expertise is that they're going to fix it. They know how to fix it, right? And that's just it. You have trust, and I have trust when the AMC guys, when they come to my house, they're going to keep to schedule, they're respectful, and you see within them, within their group, that they have such a camaraderie, and they're long-term employees. They all have worked together for so many years. Here's the thing. You want to make sure that your HVAC and your plumbing systems, they're good to go as the weather gets warmer. And so I want you to think of my friends at Anderson Mechanical Corporation. You want to call them today. Schedule that spring tune-up at an awesome discount for you. Visit amcontheweb.com, amcontheweb.com, Anderson Mechanical Corporation. Tell them Dolan sent you.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
So President Joe Biden is minutes away from landing in Philadelphia, PHL, and then makes his way. I've been talking about this since, 6 o'clock this morning. Makes his way here to Philadelphia. I believe the official campaign appearance is 12:45, and he is expected to be joined by the Kennedy clan as they try to take down RFK Jr. RFK Jr.'s his youngest sister is going to be speaking here in Philadelphia, endorsing not RFK Jr., but yes, endorsing Biden. So, wow. Talk about family feud. But I want to get to this latest, and Anthony's been busy pulling some of the audio from just yesterday as the D.C. National Guard members testifying on the J6 response. So, yeah, we're still talking about this 3 years later. But I just want you to hear this gentleman, Michael Brooks, who at the time of January 6, 2021, was an high-ranking enlisted officer with the D.C. National Guard at the time, and sharply criticized the Defense Department inspector, the IG's report, the Inspector General's report on the military response to that day. So I want you to hear what he has to say.
Prior to the protests following the murder of George Floyd in May of 2020, I do not believe any of them understood just how unique the D.C. National Guard is, and the responsibility that is delegated from the President to the Secretary of Defense and further delegated to the Secretary of the Army. I believe it is this lack of understanding that led to the significant delays in the military response on January 6th. I will not sit here today and say if we had been given authority to immediately respond when Chief Sun, the Chief of the Capitol Police, made that first frantic call for support at 1:49 p.m., that we would have prevented the breach of the Capitol. What I can tell you with absolute certainty is that we had a force equipped and ready to respond. And that despite the inaccuracies of the DoD IG report, we had a plan and would have liked the opportunity to try. Instead, we waited for hours, less than 2 miles east of the knowing our capital had been breached and not understanding why we had not received the authorization to respond.
And so just to interrupt, if you can freeze it right there, this is Command Sergeant Major, now retired, Michael Brooks. Command Sergeant Major Michael Brooks. And he's someone who is widely respected. He's not alone. Multiple National Guards officers, retired, former, whatever you want to say, they were there to testify before the subcommittee on oversight in the House there in the U.S. House of Representatives. This happened yesterday afternoon, so it was a developing story yesterday afternoon. But I want you to think about the fact he talks about trust in our Army's most senior leadership. The trust was lost, and that's why I wanted to get Sergeant Betsy Brantner-Smith to comment on what we're playing in detail for you, because that's what she was referring to, the morale and the trust. And so anybody who is in the National Guard or was 3 years ago, and they heard the media spin, and then they watched Liz Cheney and her clown car try to create that narrative that we now know just wasn't the full truth. They were not about going to get the truth. They were creating a narrative. And that is what is so disappointing about Liz Cheney. In the past, I liked her. I did. I thought, what a disappointment. Wow. The fact that she would allow herself, that she was part of that, and that she continues on. But can we play a little more of him as he's talking about this, that he expresses all of these different people saying over the years, where were you? What took 3 hours? I mean, there were jokes about it. They became a joke. Listen.
The authorization to respond. I cannot tell you the number of times someone has asked me, where were you? Where was the National Guard? Or how can you call yourselves Capitol Guardians? There's no easy response to those questions, and the truth is, we were there, and we were ready. We just weren't authorized to respond, and that is difficult to explain. The soldiers and airmen of the D.C. National Guard deserve better. They deserve to be recognized for their sacrifices over a prolonged period of civil unrest from May of 2020 to May of 2021. I look forward to your questions you may have. Thank you.
And you hear him, I wanted to play that through because in the last part of what he said, when he's saying we deserve better, and you hear him take because he's trying not to, he's trying to control his emotion over this, right? And that's important to hear, to experience, to hear the way that he delivered that and stated that, because there's anger, there's emotion, but they do deserve better. And I remember coming in, driving into work. I ran a red light camera. I paid the $100 fine. I remember the National Guard being here, and it was filled up, and everything was boarded up. All of our neighborhoods, our communities, Chestnut Hill, Mount Airy, from whether it was the Northeast, the Northwest, South Philly, there were guys, remember, with the baseball bats, and you're standing in front of the shops and the Target, and I remember Mayor Kenny criticizing, literally criticizing people for some of the guys standing in front of their local market with a baseball bat, just standing there to protect the businesses. Who came in? The National Guard. I got my COVID shot, the Pfizer shot, the convention center from a National Guardsman. Remember, I put that on social media. Well, if you're in the National Guard and law enforcement, I appreciate you. I just want to say that. And you do deserve better. If you're in law enforcement, maybe you did retire. I know many of you. You felt what that gentleman felt. He's now retired. And I just want you to, we appreciate you. The vast majority of us, we do. We see you. We love you. We appreciate you. But I remember driving into work, and they were saying, hey, the road closures, and there were still people out in the wee hours of the morning, and that's why I ran the one red light. There were no cars on the road, but there were people standing and walking toward my vehicle, right? I was scared. The National Guardsmen, they were there and coming into Philadelphia, and they made me feel safer. I know they made many of you if you had to come into work. And so I just want to say thank you. Anthony, do we have a second to just play the audio of that It's about a 3-minute clip that the House committee at the head of this subcommittee, it's called 3 Years Later, the D.C. National Guard Whistleblower Speaking Out on J6. So this was a video and audio presentation they put together, and I realize it's visual, but I want you to hear it and experience this. It's just a couple minutes long. Listen.
National Guard. I'm here today to aid the subcommittee in resolving factual errors in the official record of what happened on January 6, 2021, specifically regarding the alleged District of Columbia National Guard delayed response caused by critical presidentially appointed, Senate-confirmed Pentagon senior officials. I was concerned by the events that unfolded that day on the United States Capitol. As a federal officer of the United States Secret Service and a former state trooper with the Florida Highway Patrol, my heart goes out to all law enforcement officers, sisters and brothers that held the line that day to restore public order to the chaos. I'm here today with my counsels, Lachlan McKillen and Dan Meyer of law firm Tully Rickney. The firm has advised me, beginning with my role as a confidential source to the Select Committee to investigate the January 6 attack on the United States Capitol. When my confidentiality was breached, it was Dan who intervened to ensure I was protected as a military whistleblower.
So I just want to interrupt. So this is actually this is the opening statement, because you had 4 different witnesses. You had Colonel Earl Matthews, the chief legal advisor to D.C. Army National Guard. You had Command Sergeant Major Michael Brooks, who you heard from first. And then I believe you had this gentleman, Captain Timothy Nick, with the D.C. Army National Guard as well. That was Timothy Nick. And then you had Brigadier General Aaron Dean, who was also a general there, the D.C. National Guard. So you had all of them test. I mean, this is brave, because they were outed. They were essentially called liars in the sense that there was this narrative that it was just a lie. And these are individuals now who are coming out finally 3 years later. We're getting to the truth here. So can we hear a little bit more of him, Anthony? Just a little bit more. And this is Captain Timothy Nick here.
Major General William Walker, the commanding general of D.C. National Guard. It was my only second day on the job. Please focus on alleged facts found in the November 16, 2021 Department of Defense Inspector General's multidisciplinary review into the D.C. National Guard response and Department of Defense's role that day. I can say unequivocally that the Inspector General's review is riddled with inaccuracies, misstatements, and perhaps false flags and narratives regarding how critical Pentagon senior officials responded when our republic was under great stress. For instance, during a conference call at 2:31 p.m. with members of United States Army, U.S. Capitol Police, Metropolitan Police Department, District of Columbia Government, and U.S. Secret Service Uniform Division, the U.S. Army's Lieutenant General Walter Pyatt, Director of Army Staff, and the Army's Lieutenant General Charles Flynn, Director of Chief of Staff of Operations, were on the call. Also was Colonel John Lubis, Executive Officer to the Secretary of the Army.
And so you get the gist of what he is going through a timeline. Remember how Trump was just, his timeline, and they had the alleged Twitter timeline. They didn't give the whole thing, but they were going through that timeline. And now you hear Captain Timothy Nick and others. It was a full day of testimony, right? And they're giving tangible evidence of records and a timeline that's very different from what we in the media or in the public were ever told. This is important. And this is the information that the original J6 committee, if they want to have it, see that they should have been looking at all of the truth, all of the information, let it come out. But they did not want the truth. They wanted a narrative. It was an anti-Trump narrative. That's what they were after. And my hope and my prayer is that these individuals, first of all, get their day to get to tell their truth, which is, I believe him. He's a very credible individual. He's giving a timeline, but I want all of this subpoenaed. I want the records, the phone records, any texting, any communications from Nancy Pelosi, all these partisans, whoever. I want it all from all of them. Don't you? We deserve this. We pay these people, quite frankly. Okay, around the corner, we will try to get to that, the video that was the opening to, quote, 3 years later, D.C. National Guard whistleblowers speak out on the January 6th delay. And this is exposing the lies and exposing the agenda of the J6 committee, which was a farce. It was a show, but it was not the truth. And now we get to the truth. And this is important to the American people, to every one of us, and to these individuals in law enforcement at many levels who deserve respect. So we got to get to that. Well, you know who else is always respectful? My friends at Piazza. You know that I'm honored to be one of their spokespeople for many years now. There's no time like the present to get back out on the roads. Think about your summer road trips, spring road trips. My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, they're going to help you find that luxury vehicle you've been eyeing. Piazza has thousands of new as well as certified pre-owned vehicles available right now from Mercedes-Benz, Land Rover, Jaguar, Maserati, BMW, Porsche, and so much more. Just visit them, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com, Piazza, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com. You can stop by one of their Pennsylvania, Delaware, or New Jersey dealers. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Terry's in King of Prussia. He thinks Joe Biden is the best thing since sliced bread.
Joe's done a great job. We've had 26 straight months of job gains.
How many are part-time? All of them?
Millions lost their jobs under Donald Trump.
COVID shut the entire country down and the world down. Are you that senile, Terry?
Donald Trump, the only thing he's done is trickle-down economics.
Terry disagrees with probably 99 out of 100 things we talk about. I appreciate the fact that you listen, even though you don't like anything we say.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
And paid for by AG Marketing Group. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-866-7061. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-866-7061. The call is free, the consultation is free. Call 800-866-7061. That's 800-866-7061. Again, 800-866-7061.
Although you try not to, most of us have used an ATM out of network. And at the end, you get that notice that it's going to cost you $4 extra.
Are you kidding me?
So you're paying money to get your own money. It makes you crazy. In retirement, you're going to want to use that 401k, but every time you dip into it, you have to pay taxes. Here we go again. You have to pay money to get your own money.
Oh, come on!
Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group believes that every retirement plan needs a tax plan. Without it, you're using Uncle Sam's plan. And do you really think that's going to work in your favor? Call Retire Ready Financial Group today at 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415 and schedule a complimentary retirement consultation. Or you can find them online at retirereadyfg.com. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
Hey, it's Greg with Kale and Company. The NBA Play-In Tournament gives teams the chance to play their way into the postseason. So it only seems right that new customers on FanDuel can play their way into $150. All you have to do is place a $5 bet and you'll get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, to use during the NBA playoffs. You can bet on a wide range of things. How many three-pointers a player will score, the over-under on point totals, who will score the first basket, and so much more. Spreads, parlays, money lines, it's all right there on the FanDuel app. Just go to FanDuel.com/Greg, FanDuel.com/Greg to get started. Make every moment more with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino and is the official sports betting partner of the NBA. FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 1210 WPHT, so you know you're in good hands. 21 and over, present in PA. First online real money wager only, $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Calling on Levittown.
Hello there.
To follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
We were ready and standing by. I know if we were able to deploy immediately when General Walker made the request, the National Guard could have helped end civil disturbance and restored public order quickly. The Army National Guard motto is always ready, always there. The D.C. National Guard was ready to help and assist Capitol Police, but we were not allowed to do our job due to paralyzed decision-making by Acting Secretary of Defense Chris Miller and Secretary of the Army Ryan McCarthy. This led to federal leadership in the Pentagon. This led to a crisis in federal leadership at the Pentagon and delayed the D.C. response by 3 hours and 19 minutes. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today.
So I just wanted you to hear that last piece. We haven't heard this before, have we? And these are credible whistleblowers who are saying there was something else going on. And this is something that, Trump has alluded to. The media ignored it, but we deserve the truth. Wanted to let you make sure that you heard that piece of the testimony as we get to the bottom of J6 and those cases as we continue. There is huge news in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania right now, and it's breaking news because, of course, President Joe Biden is here in Philadelphia today. We know that the Kennedy clan, the Kennedy family members, as many as 15, are here in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, to endorse Joe Biden, and that's a slap in the face to RFK Jr. at this Philadelphia campaign event that is scheduled today for, I believe, 12:45 today. So it's significant. We're making all the national media is descending upon us. But Kerry Kennedy, the youngest sister of the presidential contender, RFK Jr., daughter of former AG, Robert A.F. Kennedy, obviously Robert F. Kennedy, and then niece of former President John F. Kennedy, she is expected to be speaking, delivering these endorsements to Biden. And that announcement, that piece of it was announced by the Biden campaign. But President Joe Biden in Philadelphia. And so watch out for the traffic alerts for sure going on right now.
Good luck getting home.
Yeah. And then he wraps up around 3:30-ish, right when, the kids get out of school. So that's going on as well. But you're right, Anthony. It's I just have been giving out the timeline so that people could plan their day accordingly. And that's any president. I mean, presidential motorcade, national security. I'm not, giving a beef with that. But I just want to let you know, Kerry Kennedy, she had put out, she's the youngest sister of RFK Jr., and she has put it out on social media as well that she's going to be campaigning for President Biden, and we'll see what she says about her own brother. Ouch. Family feud.
Boo.
With Biden here. Yes. The Dom Giordano show is coming up, and I have to say to Dom Giordano that we talked about you a lot as we enjoyed Southern Italy. Some of the people on this trip were also with you last August in Northern Italy. So if your ears were ringing for you and Ro, I want you to know we were talking about you, and you were there as we were enjoying the wine and the food and our friends at Conservative Tours and Ken Chase.
What was the highlight of the tour? Because I don't know if I've hit that part of Italy, the coast.
Oh, well, for me, the Isle of Capri, Sorrento.
Ah, yes, of course.
It was stunning. It was beautiful. But, Dom, every piece of it, and the camaraderie. I mean, just the fellowship, as you know,
absolutely.
Was amazing.
Well, Dawn, it was a great trip to be continued each day. We can talk a little bit more about it. We got to get over there again.
Yes.
Scott Perry's coming up, though, Representative Perry, Dawn, right in the center of the action. He's a military guy, and Mike Johnson, while you were away, we've been seeing this wobble. Thank God you were in Italy. You didn't have to deal with it every day. Just today. We'll break it down, what's going to happen on Saturday.
Can't wait for the Dom Show.
Thanks, Dawn.